Well, I'm excited today to be with Kevin Larose. Kevin is a very experienced realtor, as you're going to see, top grade, top 1% of the realtors, uh, definitely in Canada, and one of the top in North America. He's built a great business and a great team that he works with, and I'm really excited to have him share some information. Kevin also recently just started coaching with our firm, and his knowledge and experience, we really feel grateful that he's able and willing to join our company. So, Kevin, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to share
Great.
and be part of all this for sure.
Good. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about your team. Well, first of all, where are you from, and kind of your maybe how many people on your team and who's
Yeah.
involved.
So I was licensed in 2000. I'm originally a Montreal boy out of Quebec, Frenchman, a little bit of a fighter. And then in 82 came to Toronto, and I've married and have a family since. Our son's 27, my daughter's 30. Got licensed in 2000. And it's been an interesting journey, always wanting to build a team. And as you know, not that long ago, you and I started to work on building my team, and you helped me through that process. So we just hired one other person in our hub, so there's 17 of us. And our volume, written volume last year was in that 160 million range, volume-wise. So 100 and 200 transactions, about $1 million a piece. So the nice thing about that is that a lot of our business and success from year to year has been through my team members, not myself. So there's a big aha there, and we can chat about that. And so, yeah, so, I'm just really proud of where we are right now, and being able to take that in from a coaching standpoint and be able to share it, help others through it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when you started your team, did you kind of have this vision that you would get a team around you, so maybe you wouldn't be the person that has to run out to all the appointments doing those kind of things? Or what really made you start a team?
That's such an interesting question, because as you well know, coaching as long as you've coached, 21 years ago, the teams were different. An assistant and a buyer's agent, and the buyer's agent would be putting out a lot of the signs and so on, while the rainmaker himself would do all the business. So I was fortunate, because I was really considering real estate, because I have very dear friends of mine still in the business that were doing major business back then, and they had teams. So, and then, the first year in business, I was with Remax, I did platinum. So platinum would be over 250,000 GCI. And I realized that I was going to get very tired and sick if I didn't have help. So in that short period of time, I hired an assistant, because I was told, hire an assistant. So that's how it started. And then, of course, starting a team and not knowing how that team's run, team members came and go over that 3 or 4 year period, which were really stressful. So, but yeah, I always wanted to build some kind of a team for sure. Yeah.
So let's look at your kind of, so there's no ups and downs in building a team, right?
Yeah, the challenges are interesting, right?
So if you look at your team now, basically, just kind of running quickly, what's the structure look like?
The way in which my teams ran now,
Yeah.
Keep in mind that I want leverage, right? So I have 2 team leaders, and those 2 team leaders have 4 to 5 agents on their team. The 2 team leaders come to me, and the team members go to the team leaders. Now, am I in conversation with all of my team? Yeah, I coach them. We have Mastery Mondays for skill training, and I coach them one-on-one as life gets heavy for some of them, and this business kind of beats you up a bit. So I'm there to protect their mindset and help them. But that's how it works, right? So the bigger you are, you need more leverage. And I'm trying to build leaders, so they want the opportunity to lead. Just a note on that, I have some team members that celebrated 10 years this year with me, and 2 other team members that will celebrate 10 years with me this year as well. So they get the gold watches.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, so what have you found to be a couple of the major challenges in building a team?
I think there's several. I think that what I've come to learn is that the team members have to fill a number of boxes. One, the culture that we've created. One of integrity, hard work, and a service-minded mindset to make a difference with the families we service. That's our big why, by the way. Our big why is to make a difference in people's lives. So if the people that are looking at coming into our business doesn't have that mindset, I won't bring them in.
Right.
And what I've found in the past is that agents that come in and come right onto our team were set up for failure, because a lot of agents that come on the teams want leads, right? And if they're not getting enough leads and they're not doing the business, they don't take responsibility. They'll blame it on the team leader. So we have found that I need to train them with the skill set to be able to go out there and make a go of real estate. And I find that most people that get their license don't have any salesmanship. They don't have a sales background. So we train them in an ISA environment and get them really good. And what happens there is that they're out there making a difference every day instead of me telling them, go out there and make a difference. So that to me has been a big difference for us. And that started the shift about 5 years ago when I incorporated an ISA program. Prior to that, my team was broken. Some were doing well, some weren't, some were leaving. Very stressful.
Right. So the other thing is bringing somebody in. It's on you also set the expectation is here's what we expect you to do, right?
Yeah, I really do like to hire people that bring people into the team that are, they've had some sports-minded experience, whether they were young through that and, were the leader in their soccer team, or I like to see what that looks like, because they're competitive.
Yes.
And they want to win.
Yes, exactly.
And so they got to have that kind of mindset to do that, right? And then, of course, when we're hiring, we put a real structure together. Remember when I was being coached by you, there's got to be a bunch of hurdles to go through the hiring process, right? Discs and KPAs, and get an understanding of whether that's a good fit for them, and do a background check on them, and just make sure that you're hiring smart, right? Slowly and smart.
So where do you find these people to hire?
We here at our team, we always talk about filling the bench. So I ask my team members to keep in touch with the people that you do business with, other agents, if you would. And if you feel they're a good fit, introduce them to our team. So that's one way of doing it. We have a very strong database, and we have a database of, I think, over 1,000 realtors. And when we're hiring, we do send it out there. So that there's a spot there. We've advertised before. We found that wasn't successful. So what we have found is that we started to attract talent through our branding, our website. And so we tend to hire brand new agents, people that are just licensed. And when they're looking at joining a team, because teams seem to be where that skew is for new agents now because of the lack of training in brokerages, we have found, this week there's 2 that came to us. We vetted it, and then I had a Zoom meeting with both of them, and they're brand new agents in both cases, and they're super talented and they're young. So they find us now through our branding and our website, mostly.
Great. So you work with your spouse?
Yeah.
And so how does that go? Because one of the things I find coaching husbands and wives or spouses, whatever, is, it's the ability to kind of keep life and business separate and whatever. You seem to have done a good job at that.
Well, I have to say, Ken, it's been my biggest success and my biggest challenge. And I think that, if it's, it is, it's an interesting dynamic, but it's pretty fulfilling if it gets done right.
Yes.
And, anything good takes work.
Oh, yeah.
You both of us know that. And
Yes.
anyone that's listening to us, same thing, whether you're working with a partner or a brother or sister. I'm coaching someone now that's a brother and sister.
Yes.
And underneath it, what I found that underneath it all, Marlene, my wife, wants the best for her family and the business. It just so happens that I don't see it the same way sometimes.
Right.
So Marlene handles the operation side of my business.
Yes.
And she takes care of it very well. Does she rub nasty shoulders sometimes with the rest of the team because she won't spend certain monies on certain things that are not necessary? Yes. And me, I like to spend the money, so I go, what's the issue? So we can see that.
Not an issue, you're right? Exactly.
Yeah. But you know as well as I do, when we take a look at our finances and we take a look at our spreadsheets and we see what's left over and what our cost per sale is and what we spend and don't spend, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And for me as a rainmaker, to all of those little rainmakers out there that really start the process of running teams, get out of the way. If it's not your wife, it's got to be someone that handles the operation side. Hire them. And that's what Marlene does. And she gets involved in the sales end because it's fun.
Yes.
But she doesn't transact.
Yeah. Great. Well, so, obviously huge success on the team and keeps getting better all the time as everybody keeps figuring it out. But we're excited that you're doing some coaching with us now.
Yeah.
And you kind of just got going. You got some clients on the go now and doing a great job. The feedback I'm getting is great. What are a couple of things that you've already learned from being a coach?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, their desire to be successful is paramount because they're getting coached. So they're spending the money. So what they're saying out to the world is that I need help.
Right.
And then that's where we come in. So, it's the same I see all of them, but different. So some struggle with hiring that next person. And they go, well, how do I do that? Like, what are they supposed to be doing?
Right.
To a family that's a husband and wife team that's, successful and struggling with really the leadership within their team, the culture itself, who's running the show. Right. And it's really hard to make those changes. So I just find from a coaching standpoint, it's a long game. So, listen really well and suggest certain things each and every call so they can implement it so it's not overwhelming.
Right. So let me back up a little bit. So what even kind of made you decide to go into coaching?
Ken, I think we've talked before about this, and there was other opportunities for other companies that were looking at coaching. And I'm in an environment where there's that coaching element. But I think that for me, at my age and where I want to be with my team, is that I don't want to transact as much. So I want to be able to train and lead. And I've been coaching my team for a long time. So, it's not what we attain in life, it's what we give. It's not what we have, it's what we give, right? And so when we teach, when we learn, we teach. And that's where I'm coming from. I feel really good after speaking to the teams that I'm coaching. I feel like I've helped them in some way. Yeah. And, so I'm actually really excited about the future around coaching. I think I'm going to have more time to do it.
Great. We're excited to have you. Yeah, it's always we're always learning, right? I always say
Oh.
no learns more than me about when you're coaching. So
yeah, for sure.
I loved your when we were kind of first talking about it, I always loved your thoughts of what I want to give back, and you truly want to give back, and I think that that's a blessing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So let's kind of we've kind of gone through everything. Let's kind of wrap this up with a thought.
Okay.
So when you've built your businesses, now that you're in coaching a little bit, if there was somebody out there that was really struggling, what couple of pieces of advice could you give them to help them continue on and build their business?
Well, I think like any other business, when you're running it, as an entrepreneur as we are, real estate can be very lonely.
Yeah.
And you can't do it alone. If you are struggling, I would say reach out to someone that has your back and has your best interest for your success. This is where really coaching comes in. You know, I say to the people that I'm coaching that you can reach out anytime for me. Send me a text or email if you need some help or you're stuck on something. This is not just a half-hour call. This is a relationship. So, and I've struggled. We all have. And so I'm a big reader, and you know, I'm with people that will tell me I'm wrong and to get off it and stop being a victim. So you got to have those people in your life, right? We're the only ones that can do what we need to do, no matter what's going on out there in the world, right? Pandemics, whatever. We got to be responsible for our stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, I find one of the things I find in coaching a little bit is that a lot of people will take copious notes and listen to everything and, you know, write it down. And then at the end of the day, you know, they don't get into action. So you can practice a lot, but if you or listen and observe, but I think one of the biggest things in between highly successful and people wanting to be successful is the action they take.
You know what, I'll just say, because I'm thinking of it, Ken, is that, you know, I've been taught a long time ago, I had a life coach in my, if at the beginning of all this. Yeah. And she always tells me to get out of your way. Like, just get out of my way. Right? Because we get in our way, and we brought up a certain way, we think a certain way. Some people are really detailed, and that they get in their way, and someone who's not as detailed, that becomes an issue.
Right.
We only do certain things really well, so we need to have people around us that help us. One of the points I want to make, though, is that several years ago, I felt that I wanted to hang around people that were better than me as far as where they are in their business. I mean, you coach people that do 10 million in GCI a year, so if we're doing 3 or 4 million, we're going, what are we doing? So it all depends on how we define success. But the big thing for me was I started a mastermind group.
Yes.
And you're coaching some of those people in that mastermind group right now that are extraordinary in their business. Number 1 worldwide, number 2 worldwide. These are big gamers. And you know what's interesting? They all want to give, and they all have different ideas. And so out there, create a mastermind. Have one buddy that is doing big business that you can help people with. These are good ideas. It builds leadership, right?
Exactly. No, great ideas. Great ideas. Well, Kevin, I know you're busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time. If you know, you're available to coach, so if anybody watching this is looking for a great coach, you're developing a team, you're trying to figure out what to do, by all means, it's Coach Ken International, and give us a call, or you know, look us up on the web or email Kevin, and I know he'd be excited to work with you.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. So thanks again, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Okay. Have a great one.